Hey, this is Mo Lunsford at Union Grove Lumber Studios.
And this is the Shed Geek. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek podcast. Friday Fun Day with Sam Bassiter style. I'm your host, Sam Byler, and I am so excited to be here today because not only do I have a very special guest, Dave Miller with SmartPay and the NBSRA with us today, but I've got the Shed Geek on with us. He says this sounds like so much fun, he's going to hop in and have some fun with us. So, Shed Geek, say hey, and then we'll reach out to Dave over there and we'll get him cranking so he can get off of here. And I'm sure he wants to go eat his dinner too.
I'm sure. Super excited to be here and appreciate the applause. I like to tell people being a Shed Geek, if you take that and you add a coin with it, you can probably get on a bus somewhere. It doesn't really mean a whole lot, but you know what? I'm a legend in my own mind anyway. So I'll take that. I'll live in my own little world. But it's awesome being on here. Love what you're doing, Sam. Love the Friday episodes. You're just a big personality, and it's perfect to have you as part of it. And look at this. Me, you, and Dave right here in the same screen. Like, what's matter of fact, I feel like this brings up an old Dave. I don't know if you remember the SmartPay episode.
Are we going to get paid $20 every time we say SmartPay today?
Yeah, we were trying to work you for $20 every time we said SmartPay. So
that was still by hands down the best episode you guys ever had.
Best episode for somebody. So the other thing that's cool about that is, when I always talk about, it's kind of funny that I'm on this thing anyway, because I'm the guy that first told you that it'll never work. And I used the story that I know exactly where we were at riding up I-77, and we were working for SmartPay. We were in a little red car working for Dave, going up to see Dave. And it was a good time. We had a blast.
I always had a lot of fun working with you guys. And like, I still tell people a lot of times, had I not really had an offer, like SmartPay was really, and Dave, I think it's good to say this publicly, it was like one of the best places. It was like 6 months. The first 6 months were like some of the happiest months of my life in terms of finding purpose and finding the shed industry. And then like just connecting with you, you were excellent. The company was excellent. And it's obvious why you guys have lots of success, because you've just been great in all the moves that you've made. So congrats on all of that. And a special thank you, a big time thank you for like mentoring me and giving me opportunity, because it really helped, and it means a lot for me and my family. So,
same here. All right, Dave. We'll jump into it. I'm gonna basically turn it over to you. You can say whatever bad stuff you want to say about either one of us. I'm sure we can edit it out, and the Facebook people will just have to hear it.
We just need your mouth moving like this, and it'll be, boy, Chef and Sam were the best people ever.
And then just let us know what you're thinking. What's the NBSRA looking like? And for some people, they don't even know what that is. So just give a brief introduction to what the NBSRA is, what you guys are doing, and what's coming up. Take it away.
Sure. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me. I'm here on behalf of the NBSRA today. The NBSRA is the National Barn and Storage Rental Association. This was started about 14 or more years ago. And its mission and goal is to bring rent-to-own companies together to work together to improve the industry. I know Shannon uses this line all the time that, rising tides lift all ships. And that's the goal, is what can we do together better than we can do alone. So once a year, we have a conference. That's the biggest part of the event. There's other things that go on behind the scenes and a little bit of legislative work here or there. But the biggest thing is this event. And I think it was after COVID. Over COVID, we didn't have the event, just like there was no Shed Expo that year. And then the next year, we always had separate events, and they were like 2 weeks apart. And finally, it was like, hey, we're going to do these things. Why don't we combine them? And they're not combined in the sense that they're together, but let's at least plan them together. And so the NBSRA is the day before the Shed Expo. And it is an all-day event, starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and goes to about 5 in the evening. It's just jam-packed with speakers on various topics within the rent-to-own world. We bring in some big keynote speakers that are talking more about general concepts that are not industry specific, but good business principles. Then we have people breaking things down, and we'll do these breakout sessions that you can pick which one you want to go to. And those are usually geared towards a specific subject matter within the industry. And then we end up with another keynote in the end. So that's what we end up doing. Does that give you a brief overview, or does that give a good idea?
Yes.
So yeah, this year, I mean, we're as excited about the lineup this year. What is really great is this thing has been growing, and as you grow and as you have more money to put on a better event, that's been happening. We've been bringing in some really good speakers. We're bringing in Harris III. He's the opening keynote, and he's really good at making you open your mind. I think he calls it the wonder switch. And he's actually an illusionist. So he's a magician that he does that. But he realized that when people are in this sense of wonder, that they're going, what is this? Like, how'd you do that? And that they start to view the world differently, and they start to expand their mind and try to figure things out. So he's become a keynote speaker on the subject of this sense of wonder. And so that's the opening keynote, is like to open this thing up and say, hey, open your minds to all of these people around you. You've got good people. Learn today. Be here to learn. And so, yeah, we're super excited to have Harris III being our opening keynote. And then he'll do our edutainment at lunch, too. That's when I said, go ahead, pull some rabbits out of some hats and, all of that good fun stuff.
So he can make Shannon disappear for me?
He possibly.
See if you can slide him a 20 and make that happen for me.
We can probably still hear him. He's somewhere.
Oh, no, that won't do us any good.
So, yeah, then one of the things, and this is when you were talking the other night about, you were talking to the shed haulers, and I'm like, hey, yeah, the one we're hitting this year is we have one subject that is dedicated to the whole shed hauler subject. And I don't know if it's going to happen or not yet, but the committee has the title, wanted the title, and then Tanner wanted to change the, Tanner's doing the talk, Tanner Leiby. And so I don't know if I don't think I'll get my title, but I want the title to be Why 250 Ain't Enough.
Hey, sounds good to me. I'm all about that.
Yeah, and it is. He'll be talking to the shed, manufacturers and those people. But the big thing that he's going to be driving home is being the cheapest guy isn't the best result for anyone, for the hauler or for the manufacturer. Like, if we want a high level of service when we have people out picking up a shed, because we still care for the people when we're out picking up the shed, all of the other things apply. Good service, quality of work, don't tear the fence down, all of those things. Then pay the people well and pay them reasonably. But then you can also expect good and quality service also. So I think that there has to be communication both ways that say, hey, we'll pay for a good service, but we also expect a good service.
Did you like cheat and look at my notes and see what I was talking about last week on the hauler page and what I'm talking about today?
No, I didn't.
You just, I mean, absolutely nailed it. Yep, I agree.
One thing I try to talk about the NBSRA every chance we get, and I owe a deep apology to the NBSRA because we actually had a chance to interview Ed Wynn at the last one, and there was just so much background noise we couldn't even hear him, and it's terrible because that would have been an excellent interview, and it was an excellent interview. Sam, we even talked about dogs and whenever that whole fiasco was going on. So it was actually made for a really good conversation that never got to air. And my apologies to Ed and the NBSRA. We just didn't think it through when there was a crowd of people around us and it was muffled. There was so much noise. It would have made for a terrible episode. But why is it, like, I like to ask the questions, Dave, like, why is it important for not just rent-own companies to come, but also even salespeople, that work for organizations, whether they work for a consignment or they retail and they're wholesale buyers, or even haulers. Like the NBSRA event is not just an event, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, for just rent-to-own people. It's an event that is open to anyone to come to in the industry to help learn more, educate themselves more, and do better to be able to explain rent-to-own. Is that an accurate description?
What was that?
You heard that too? Sam, what was that?
Oh, that wasn't supposed to come out.
What
Well,
is
what
it,
was it?
Sam?
I was given some confidential information. Not sure what I'm supposed to do now that you heard that, though.
Well, what was it?
Sam, you got to tell us.
Well, you can't tell anyone. But the Cardinal engineers, the mule guys, have been at it again. They heard all the haulers belly aching about a bigger machine. You know how they're always fussing about it ain't big enough? Well,
Oh,
guess
yeah.
what? They've got a bigger mule, a lot bigger.
What?
How about a mule with a 70 horsepower diesel engine that's built to move 40,000-pound sheds? You ought to see it. It's a real beast of a mule, and it's up to any shed challenge.
No
Right.
way, Sam. A diesel donkey like you had? I mean, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's
Yep, the
great.
diesel donkey like I used to have. Hey, there's a lot more stuff coming, but I've said enough. I'll get in trouble soon if I say any more. Just come to the shed show and see it all at booth 217.
Yeah, and absolutely. So it is, geared towards, when it gets down to the little specifics of things, sure, it is geared towards that. But all good business principles are just that. They're good business principles. And you can apply them to your own business, whatever that is, but you're probably in the shed industry anyway. So is it good to know more about the rent-to-own industry while you're doing it? Yeah, absolutely. That's part of it. You have to understand other aspects of the industry. So yeah, it is. And there again, like we're bringing in Harris III. Is he talking about rent-to-own? No, but he's going to give people good, tangible things to take home, even though he's an illusionist. He likes to make us believe that things aren't tangible and they just disappear. But you get it. And actually in the end, we have Mark Tillman coming, Colonel Mark Tillman. Colonel Mark Tillman, it was the Air Force One pilot, and he was the pilot on 9/11 that flew Bush up from Florida to, I don't even know wherever, and he's drilling down and talking about having systems and processes that sometimes you forget they're even there, but you need to have protocol. You need to have systems and processes in place because when crap hits the fan, you need that fallback. And when I was chatting with him a little bit, he's like, and he told the story. Yeah, I'll tell the story about, I don't know exactly what it was like when we were trying to get out of Baghdad. And, these people all had to go rely on their protocols that they'd kind of forgotten about, but they were there. So are those good principles for rent-to-own companies? Yes. Are they good principles for business people? Yes. All of those things.
Cool. What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about? So I'm on the event. I guess we call it the event champion this year. So kind of a lot of it was my vision and so forth. So I'm excited to get it done well and not have it, and be past all the butterflies. So, I'm kind of carrying the weight of those things. But what am I most excited? Harris the Third. I'm super excited about him, and that's probably the highlight for me. Is like I just think he's going to be great. I just listened to his book and it's called The Wonder Switch, and I'm like, yeah, this is good, solid stuff. That's probably the most. But Tillman, we got other guys. There'll be accounting guys there. Always the boring accounting guys. We have a guy on business valuations. I actually have a fitness guy this year. So, and this is probably part of my journey. I may or may not have lost about 25 pounds in the last half year, and I hired a fitness coach. And this guy's talking to especially a lot of these office guys. Do we think about our fitness, or are we sitting behind a desk? And how to just practically do it. It's not that hard. Get more steps in. Do a little bit more, dude. So we got that. We have Edwin, of course. Edwin's always there.
Always. And that's always one of my favorite. I mean, I can listen to that dude for a long time. It's fun to listen to him.
So I did throw on the messages there. The link to says Wild Apricot, NBSRA Wild Apricot. That we're still selling tickets. I think we close registration here in a week or two because this is just around the corner. This is
coming right up.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
2.5. 24. Yeah. So sign up, get your tickets. There's still tickets available, and that's what I'm here. So I'm pitching, but I'm not pitching for myself. That's the fun part. It's bigger than me.
That's fun.
Buy 10 tickets.
So for the ones that aren't on the hauler page and got that link, how do we find you?
Okay, yeah, good question. So NBSRA.com, and that would be the landing page to the NBSRA. And then after that, I think there's a button that says attend conference. Okay. And then from there, there's a register page, but NBSRA.com. I better just make sure this all works. To the page, top right-hand corner, attend conference. And then there's a register now button. And that goes to the exact same link that I send on the comments.
Okay. September 24th, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Anything else you want to throw in there?
Be there.
I agree. Be there.
And then come
I love the fact we can double up. You roll from that straight into the expo. You just make a week out of it and come hang out. Man, there's so many good people around there, good food. It's always a blast. It's just good to be there.
It absolutely is. And if you signed up after today, make sure you thank Shannon and Sam for putting this on there, and then tell me too. I want to know if this was all worth it. So say, hey, I bought a ticket.
We'll throw a link on there. This episode will go out next Friday, so I don't know if tickets will still be for sale, but we'll link the NBSRA website and try to link where people can just go and sign up. So maybe you'll get a few last minute rushes. But I can't encourage people to go enough. Like, education is something that's just sort of near and dear to my heart. It wasn't originally whenever I was a youth, but it has become. And as the industry grows up and matures and becomes a bigger industry, like that educational section is really needed, especially whenever you visit dealers and they have questions, basic questions about NBSRA. Sometimes language barrier, just a lot of different things that I feel like they bring a solution to the problem. And I would even think for anybody looking to get into rent to own, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly, or seems to be, the word is saturated, but the industry is still growing and there seems to be room for more. And for those who want to be vertically integrated, maybe they have questions to the pros like yourself to ask. Hey, Dave, what do I need to do? How do I get started? What do I, who knows how it's going to change and things over the years, but I endorse it. I think it's awesome. I think that we should all be trying to further education. So dealer, hauler, it doesn't matter what your title is, be there and you'll enjoy it. It's definitely worth it. I've never regretted going myself. So
Yep,
Love to see you guys there.
All right, cool deal. You can hop off if you want to, or you can stay on. I don't care. I want to move on to some of the other dates. You going to stay or you going to leave?
I'm going to let you carry on unless you want me here.
Oh, no, you're good to go. Thanks a bunch. Thank you so much.
good to see you,
Thank
Dave.
you. We'll see you.
I got to figure out where my Zoom meeting went here. I mean, my Facebook Live went there. I lost my. Never mind. I'm back again.
All right.
For some reason the thing had paused for a minute. So yeah, I want to just run through the rest of this. This is the time of year when it just gets crazy busy. Like we aren't busy enough already. You guys in Facebook land, I lost a bunch of them because I wasn't paying attention to them, or I don't know how many's on here. It says I got a bunch watching, but currently I only have 2 eyeballs showing, so I don't know where they went. But it's this time of year, it gets crazy. Next weekend we have the Midwest barbecue coming up in Indiana. We're going to that. Turn around and come home, be home for a little bit. Then it's back all the way up to Michigan, and that turns into, it's pretty much a whole week ordeal to get that in. You're going to Indiana, right?
Going to Indiana, and then I did a little impromptu trip to London and Knoxville and Crossville, Tennessee to get a couple episodes in before the expo.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then leaving basically Sunday. We're taking the RV up, so we're gonna get an RV spot and be there Monday through Friday because, like you said, it's a whole week, and we can just set up shop and try to do work from there, and then also go and attend the NBSRA, go to our booth, attend the expo. So I'm looking forward to it. It's like I've said for years, I feel like it's like a family reunion.
Oh yes.
It is. And it actually
That's a
is
good
for
word.
several
Yeah.
people. It actually is.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah. The food's crazy. Like we're going back to the Black Rock Steakhouse place where you cook your own steak on a rock, and I wouldn't be surprised if I think that place held like 68 to 75 people, and we had like 33 people in there. And I wouldn't be surprised at all this year if we max the thing out, So it is. There's always good food, good fellowship, a lot of fun. And it is family. It's like you get to just go hang out with all you people.
Unlock the power of productivity with Cardinal Leasing. Are you looking to elevate your business operations with top-tier equipment? Look no further than Cardinal Leasing. We offer a wide range of reliable and high-quality equipment tailored to meet your unique needs. Flexible leasing options. Whether you need short-term rentals or long-term solutions, our customizable leasing plans are designed to provide maximum flexibility and affordability. Conventional financing available. Cardinal Leasing also offers great conventional finance options for those of you that prefer that over-lease purchase options. Expert support. Our team of experienced professionals is here to guide you every step of the way, ensuring a seamless leasing experience. Boost efficiency. With our top-of-the-line equipment, you can enhance productivity, reduce downtime, and achieve your business goals faster. Why choose Cardinal Leasing? Competitive rates, exceptional customer service, hassle-free process, quick and easy approvals. Don't let outdated equipment hold you back. Partner with Cardinal Leasing today and take your business to the next level. Contact us now. Visit our website at equipment.cardinalleasing.us or call us at 618-803-4086 to get started.
You know what else too it is that's really, really underrated in my opinion, Sam? this little word called networking. It's not not working, it's networking. And
Yeah.
and when you cast your net and you go out and you set with people, whether it's a Shed Expo, a NBSRA event, a Shed Hauler barbecue event like Cliff Knepp is putting on there in Southern Indiana. It won't be long. We'll be down in Georgia for the
Oh
Southeast.
yeah.
You know,
Yep.
well, Texas is coming
Yep.
up too. I think.
Yeah, I got those on my list too. After we get done with the expo, we get a couple of weeks, and then we're in Texas. I think that's October 19th, whatever the week. If it's not the 19th, it's the day, it's the Saturday of that week, but I'm pretty sure it's the 19th. And then I had put on Facebook the Southeast barbecue in Montezuma, Georgia. I had the date wrong on that. It's November the 2nd, not the 4th. So there's so many opportunities. And listen, this goes back to we're a little bit 2020, 21, 22, everybody's so crazy busy and stuff. And now we're a little bit back more to normal, but it's even more. I get calls all the time from guys they're just like, you can tell they're in the trenches.
Yeah.
And they just want to talk to somebody. And I'm like, you guys, you got to come to these events. It's crazy not to. We have such a huge batch of new people that have come onto the hauler page that are they're legit haulers and they're hauling, but they don't know anybody. And they don't, they look at these events, they look at other Facebook, I got a couple other groups on Facebook that they do events and people show up and it's whatever. It is what it is. But it's hard for, if you haven't been on the hauler page for more than the last 2 years, you just don't understand the camaraderie that's there, the family, and like you said, it's like going to a reunion. In my opinion, it's more important now than ever to show up at events. And I know people are like, "What? I mean, does he get paid to get people to events?" No, I don't get paid anything. That's just where you got to be and where you got to go. And birds of a feather flock together. You want to be around successful people. That's where they're at.
I was taught a long time ago, and I know there's a book that addresses this, and I just can't get it to come to mind for whatever reason right now. Maybe because it's Friday and I've got my mind on the weekend. But there's principles that talk about it doesn't matter your job. So like if the best thing you got is going for you is a mop bucket and a mop, and you're ashamed of, or maybe not even ashamed, but you just don't feel like you're wildly successful because your title's custodian. It's the way you go about your work. If you do it, with the mindset of I'm going to walk in and I'm going to be the best custodian I could possibly be. Whatever your job is, your job's to mow the grass around here. Okay, well, I'm going to mow it and people are going to comment on how nice the grass looks because that's how I'm going to take my job. I'm segueing here into something with this, Sam. If you are in an industry and you're not trying to gather and as much information and education as you can to be better for yourself, but also to better the industry that you're in, because we're only as strong as our weakest chain, right? If you're not doing something to better the industry that you're in. So like, it always amazes me whenever I get around somebody and say, you read Shed Business Journal? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? Why not? This is the industry you picked to be in. Why wouldn't you want to know as much about it as you can? Because it gives you opportunity to do more the more you learn. Like, why don't you subscribe to a newsletter? Why don't you subscribe to an email blast? Listen to the podcast, a little self-promotion. But whatever it is that's happening in the industry, get on the Facebook pages, get in the private groups. Like, we just happen to be in the shed industry. You could take all of us and put us over in the bicycle industry, and guess what?
Same thing.
Same thing. It's the
thing.
Guys and gals who are absolutely taking it serious and wanting to do their best and learn the most and work together, to better our industry. So you're not going to find success because you say, oh, well, this silly shed industry, it's saturated and there's this, that, and another. Listen, you're going to go find the same problems in the car industry.
Oh yeah,
or wherever it is that you go.
wherever it is. Yeah,
It's
it's
in
all
here.
the same.
It's who you are in
Yeah.
here and how you network and change things. And Sam,
Yeah.
you are one of the best. You and Susan both at doing that, and that's why I'm excited to have you guys on the podcast.
Always. Yep. That's it's like it's not just something how do you say this? It's not something that I even just enjoy doing. It's a calling.
Yes.
Like it just becomes part of who you are. And having Dave on, like that just ties it all full circle together for me. And then he brings up the fact that he wants to talk. He's talking about service, and we're in the service industry.
Mm-hmm.
Sheds just happens to be what we're doing, but it's the service industry. And after Josh called me the other day and was talking to me about why do we not talk more about the service side and all the things that we could offer? Exceptional service, extraordinary service, over the top service. Why do we not talk about that more? And that's a huge thing to me. And he just went right into that. And I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to get at today, was to follow up. You want to learn how to be really good at what you do. Come hang around people who are really good at doing it. That's the best way you can learn. Sure, you can learn off of a Facebook page, but it's so much more when you meet those people in person, and then you start seeing them on the hauler page or on the shed sales professional page, any of the pages. It's like you have a connection to those people. They're not just somebody over there in, social media land. You actually know these people.
I was going to save some of this for my monologue with you talking about service, and I may still bring it up on there whenever I do it. But, I've been trying to get some gravel work done here at the house, looking for an excavator. We've got a local guy, a couple of them here in town. I started on June 30th, text messaging and allowing for the reality that people are busy. Now it's now September 6th, and I don't have anybody coming to the second week of October. But what's interesting is literally had a guy, we went back and forth for a month, and he was like, I've just been busy, I'm sorry. And I'm like, hey man, I want to give the local business to you, but I need to know if you're going to show up. He says, I'll be right there. He gets there on Friday, says, I'll get you a quote on Monday. Guess what doesn't happen on Monday? I got no quote. So I messaged him the next day. He said, oh, I'll get it right over to you. I let a week go by. Now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy when I say, hey man, I'm sorry, we're just going to move on. And now all of a sudden he wants to right the wrong, right? Get a recommendation from another buddy. He says, got the guy, he's the one you want to talk to. Call him up, answers right away. Hey dude, I'll be there at 6 o'clock. Let's get this thing knocked out. Great. I stay home till 6 o'clock. He doesn't show up. I call him, I text him, no show, won't answer his phone. I put on Facebook, I'm looking for bare minimum here, guys. I'm looking for someone who would just answer their phone. Like my expectations as the consumer has become so low, right? And this is a small project. I mean, I'm not made of money. This is $15,000 worth of work.
Yeah. Nobody wants to do it.
No one wants. I can't give it away. And there's guys saying I can't make it. And the difference, Sam, is customer service. The guy who finally decided to come out, took it serious and said, I just want to be realistic with you. I can't get to it till the second week of October, but I will do it. I'll make sure it's done and I'll get you a quote tonight. And he got me a quote that night. And I think about how many times we think as a business owner, well, I'm doing okay, so I don't have to cross all the T's or dot all the I's because I'm doing well. Yeah. So I don't really have to take customer service to that next level right now. It's not necessary. I've got money in the bank. I'm okay.
Yeah.
How bad is that hurting the reputation of your business? And it won't be long before you won't be.
Yeah, we've seen that happen before. Yep.
Introducing the Challenger, the revolutionary new shed mover that's taking the industry by storm. The Challenger features a touchless design, ensuring it only makes contact at the end of the skids and the bottom of the floor joists, so rest easy knowing your gable walls will remain pristine. Worried about reliability? Fear not, the Challenger is always up for the challenge and will not overturn or scuff your shed. Harness the power of innovative wireless technology. Remotely control the Challenger via your smartphone. No cell service needed. And guess what? The cell phone remote comes standard with every Challenger at no extra cost. Featuring floating forks, a 4-directional tilting mast, and sliding weight transfer, move the shed weight precisely where you need it to get ultimate traction. With self-loading capability, straight onto your truck, say goodbye to the need for a hydraulic carriage. The Challenger makes your job easy and more efficient. Choose from 2 machine sizes, 10,000 pounds and 15,000 pounds. Perfect for any job. Visit us at the Shed Expo in Michigan this September. Find us at booth 552. Don't miss out. Visit www.shedchallenger.com or email us at info@shedchallenger.com or call or text 828-220-3508 for more information. Experience the future of shed moving with the Challenger.
Kyle Summers says, "What's up, fellers?" Oh, no, he says, "Hey, fellas." We know he doesn't say, "What's up, fellers?" I'm scrolling through my Facebook posts here. Oh, crap. Now where'd it go? There we go. I'm back again.
Another old SmartPay connection. That's funny.
Yeah. We got the whole SmartPay bunch on. Well, we're missing Richard. Richard's is probably stuck in Missouri yet somewhere.
Barn raising. I hope everybody's seen that on Facebook. That was
the barn raising from Richard's bunch. That was phenomenal out there. I hated I couldn't be there, but I think it's actually going to work out better for Richard and for me if I come out there once everybody's gone, and I can help him with some of his interior stuff or whatever. But I was going to ask Dave about, is Richard going to be at the NBSRA? We know he is, but I wanted to get that shout out in on there for that because Richard is one of my top tier guys on the rent to own side that his episode's still one of the highest ones out there listened to. And I refer people to that episode all the time when they say, what's the point of rent to own? Rent to own's a ripoff. And dude, we still hear this stuff. It's the last couple of weeks, it's like a renewed energy against the rent to own community about, man, they were calling them loan sharks and all the stuff going. And I'm like, guys, come on. Have we not been through this? I mean, is nobody listening anymore, or what's going on?
To me, I'm speaking for me here, but it just comes down to an educational side, because like and Richard said this in his episode, so I'm going to kind of piggyback off what he said. If you were to go and rent a home, and if you think about like the modern day millennials and whatever I'm getting so old, I don't even know what the generation is after the millennials.
Don't get me started on this right now.
Yeah. So whatever they are, they like renting. They don't want to be tied into long-term, things. So like rent, works really good for them. And, here in our little town, it's hard to find something for rent anymore for less than $600. And I know a lot of people who are listening are like, what? You can actually get something to rent for $600? Well, we still live in a fairly low income area, but $600 to $1,200, and there's like 1 or 2 houses in our little town of 6,500 people that's up for rent. For the most part, they're. But here's the thing: we don't criticize anyone whenever they go to rent a home and say it's best for me financially to rent this house and save up money until I want to own a home. Maybe I don't want to own a starter home. Maybe I do. But what about the $20 billion self-storage industry, Sam, that are going up like clockwork?
Yeah, everywhere.
I like to use this all the time. Does anybody know, and anybody who's ever had me come speak at their events has heard this. Anybody know who the richest lady in Kentucky is? I hope she don't come after me. Tamara something or another. They own Public Storage. It's worth like $45 billion or something ridiculous. I don't know. But I mean, if she sees it as worthy to be in the storage space, the difference is they're just doing these self-storage. And the way I try to like to explain it to people is like, hey, we sell self-storage too. We're just breaking one of those units apart and bringing it right to your house.
Yes.
But you're renting
Yep.
it. You're renting it. It's the same thing. But
Yeah.
people have confused renting to own a building with a traditional finance credit sale.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And
We
and,
know
and for
that.
the dealers and manufacturers who aren't separating that and educating the customer, they're just trying to hurry up and get the sale. That's what's allowing people to think that it's expensive because they see $5,000 for the shed, $10,000 for the total price. They don't consider that you're renting it risk-free, no credit check, no hard pull, no debt to income. You
Yeah.
bring it, you can get rid of it next month and just turn it back in. They're not seeing it that way. They're seeing it as a traditional loan.
Yeah. Hey, I hate to move on, but I got to move on. I got dinner coming. We could literally talk about that for an hour. I mean, it's we should do one of these live ones when we go golfing, and it takes us 5 hours for a round of golf. Maybe we could actually get all the way through the whole rent to own spiel if we did it that way. Suffice it enough to say that rent to own is a great option in our current market. If you don't believe that, or you disagree with me on that, you just flat out don't understand what it's there for. You need to go to the Shed Geek podcast. You need to find the Richard Miller episode. You need to listen to it. I've used rent to own multiple times, and it has saved my butt. And there was times, Richard talks about the whole, well, I can't even get into it like him. Go listen to it. By the way, Dave had put on here, Richard and Kyle will both be speaking. So there's another reason to go. You anytime you get to hear those guys talk, I'm gonna call out. I don't know why he's saying. Kyle says he's got $50. I don't know why he's getting $50, but I'm gonna call him out and say I'll get that if he's speaking, he has to do a Trump impersonation. We have heard him do it so many times; it is phenomenal. So Kyle Summers, you're on my podcast here, plugging up my line. You got to do a President Trump thing because you do it better than anybody. You're the best, man. You can do it. See, I can't do it. I suck at it, but he can do it.
I think you sound like Kermit the Frog. I'm not sure what was going on there.
So I've got one more thing I want to talk about a little bit today, since I'm on the hauler page, and we're going back to these events that are coming up, and I'm tying the events that are coming up in with my current sponsors that I have for the podcast. The current sponsors, by the way, if you want to sponsor my podcast, I have plenty of openings yet. We can always use more help. But the current ones I have are all people that are involved in these events. They're going to the events. They'll be there. You'll get to see them. You'll get to see all the cool new stuff they have. For sure, at the expo, you want to be there. Cardinal Leasing is one of my biggest buddies, Jonathan Miller. He always supports us in the Brotherhood. He always supports us in all our events, at the bashes and everything. Phenomenal dude. You got to be there. Challenger came on board with us. Great guys. We got to do an interview with them. I got to hang out with them. I even got to play around with their machine and get on the YouTube channel with them and stuff. They're going to be there. It's great. You got to be there. Cardinal Manufacturing, off the chains. They have supported us from day one. I love those guys. Steve is a great dude. I can sit and talk to him for a long time. They have got some phenomenal stuff coming out at the expo. We talk about one a little bit in our commercial we did for them, which, by the way, was a blast. We had a total howl putting that commercial together.
Well, you can do fun commercials that just, you remember why you're doing this, why you're podcasting. And even shows like this, Sam, sometimes, like, just because I know you so well, being able to get on here and feel like just very nonchalant, just get on here and chat. I think people enjoy that, but it reminds you of what you're doing, and you're selling fun, and people love to buy fun. There's no doubt. So yeah. Big shout out to sponsors. And I know you got to eat, but I want to make a quick point and mention to them. We usually try to, for those that don't understand, we usually try to limit those to about 10 per show. or 10, 10 for Sam, 10 for me, 10 for Susan. And the reason for that, we limit them, is because we don't want to just inundate you guys with commercials while you're listening to an episode. So we do take that into consideration instead of like taking everybody's money and just making it happen. We want to, do a show that's valuable, that leaves a lot of room for the content, and we don't just hammer you. But it does take those sponsors to help keep this thing going. I mean, we can't travel around and do all these things, and hotel rooms and food and equipment and all that stuff without some help. So for those that want to get some love shown on their business, by all means, give us a holler. We'll get you through the details of it. But we want to see your business thrive. So
I think it's so cool that they don't just support us, they support the whole industry.
Right. Yeah.
And if you come to the events, you get to meet all of them.
Yeah.
If you ever wonder who Cardinal Leasing is, who Cardinal Manufacturing is, who the Challenger guys are, show up at the events. You'll get to meet them. You'll find out who they are.
Yeah.
And I think that's the greatest thing. It's Kyle says it'll be huge. Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited. I can't wait to see everybody at all the events. We'll be in Indiana. Both of us will be there. So show up at Indiana, come hang out there, meet Cliff Knepp and his whole team. Joe, I just had a complete brain fart.
I don't know if Howie's going to be there.
Howie. I don't know. Yeah, that's who I was looking for though. Joe and Howie. To get to hang out with those guys. There's a whole bunch of guys show up for that event. That's cool. The guys that won the mule in North Carolina, they'll be there. I'll finally get to reconnect with them again. Great guys. And then the expo, we'll all be there. Everybody will be at the expo. So make sure you come to that and hang out. And then, see you in Texas and Georgia.
Yeah, we've got a lot coming up. I'm super excited about it. Appreciate you. And I know you got a weekend ahead of you and things you got to do. Go eat and have fun. And looks like I'm getting ready to do the same. We're going to head over to the big old city of Paducah.
Oh, you're going to Paducah. I'm going about 5 miles down the road to a barbecue joint that on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he does smoked ribeyes. And I love, if I'm not going to cook them myself, I've actually got a fire going here tonight. And I said, if I'm not cooking a steak myself here, I want to run down there and we're going to grab steaks, come back, sit around the fire and chill out. I had to build fence today and it kicked my tail. So I'm glad that's over with and done. But hopefully the neighbors' dogs will stay out of my backyard now.
Hey, I appreciate all that you're doing. I love the idea of these live events on the podcast. So we'll try to we'll get this thing out on Friday. We'll show some love, send some stuff over to the NBSRA. I certainly hope people will be there because if you're going to be in this business, if you're going to be in any business, why not do it with zeal? And so if you're going to be in the shed world, might as well get involved in all of it.
I agree. Absolutely. All right, I'll sign us off. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shed Geek podcast. Friday fun day always gets more fun as we go along with Sam Ambassador. Don't forget to look us up on. I'm gonna let you do the shout out to the newsletter and Shed Geek channels and stuff. You want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys, if you don't receive the newsletter, just go to shedgeek.com. You can sign up, or you can message me at info at shedgeek.com. Just give me your name and your email. We'll get you added. And on that, guys, is a whole list of like the sponsors that Sam's talking about. So on Fridays, you can go through, you can click on the Shed Challenger. You can find out more information there. You can click on the Cardinal Mule Manufacturing. You can click on Cardinal Leasing to know more. It'll be a direct link to their website. We do shout outs occasionally on Facebook and things like that. But what we're really trying to do is be a connecting point and a source of a connection for many people. So always feel free to reach out, info at shedgeek.com, or just go to shedgeek.com for the website. And there's just a ton of information out there. We're growing all the time and trying to do more. So
cool deal. Till next time.
See you, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Hey, this is Mo Lunsford in sunny Union Grove, North Carolina, and we want to say thank you to all the guests and listeners.